Hi guys, this is Vamsi and welcome back to Code Refer. In this video, we'll be discussing about AWS Lightsail Part 2. In the Part 1, we have discussed about installation of WordPress using AWS Lightsail. In this video, we'll be discussing about all the comments which we have received from users and we'll be answering them. So there are a lot of questions which were asked like encryption of a website and how to take a backup of a website of large size. And along with that, we'll be discussing about taking snapshots of Lightsail and using FTP like FileZilla, etc. So without any delay, let's get started. In the first part, we have covered in depth about installing WordPress in AWS Lightsail and also assigning static IP to it. So in this second part, we will be directly jumping to these topics. If you want to find the link to the first part, I will be providing in the info above as well as in the description below. We will be discussing the following topics. First one is removing Bitnami settings from bottom using newly provided tools. Second one is encrypting our website using Let's Encrypt. And the third one is connecting to website using FTP like FileZilla. The fourth one is creating a snapshot and deploying them, which will be helpful when we want to do a backup. So let's discuss our first topic, removing Bitnami settings from bottom using newly provided tools. For that, I have created a new instance. So let's log into console. So as we can see, this is our new Bitnami helper tool which was included with the latest versions. So this helper tool was not present while discussing our first part. This is newly implemented tool. Let's paste and let's click on enter. So now we are in Bitnami helper tool 0.1.0 where we can do some tasks easily. So first one is remove the Bitnami banner. So before removing the Bitnami banner, let's see what is Bitnami banner. If we log in with the IP address at the bottom of our website, as we can see, this is our Bitnami banner. So now we'll remove the Bitnami banner. So what is the advantage of Bitnami helper tool is, so we can remove the Bitnami banner which we saw previously using a single click. Let's select this item and click on enter. It started removing the Bitnami banner and we can see success, the banner has been removed properly. So let's see by reloading our website. So now we can see the banner is removed. So this covers our first topic, removing Bitnami settings from bottom using newly provided tools. As we can see, this website is not secure as of now. So we don't have an SSL certificate. So let's go ahead and encrypt this website so that we will be getting a log sign and the website will be accessed via secure network. So we will be logging into our server. And now again we will be using the same command. Now we already removed the Bitnami banner. Now click on setup Let's Encrypt. So now it is asking me for domain list. I'll enter my domain list. It is asking me to add www version also. I'll click on yes. So now it is fetching and it is saying that gaurifashions.com resolved to a different IP address than one detected for this mission, which is 15.207.207.7. Please fix its DNS entries or remove it. Hey guys, we are back and it took about 24 hours for DNS to propagate, and now we'll log again back into SSH using our terminal. So you can use the console, but I want to show you guys how we can log in using terminal too. So SSH username, that is by default Bitnami at the rate of whatever our static IP is, 15.207.207.7. okay, we'll ask our SSH key password, so I will be entering. So this SSH key is nothing but what we have uploaded during our WordPress Lightsail instance creation. So let's quickly copy this frequently used command again. Now our goal is to encrypt using Let's Encrypt. So I am selecting encrypt using Let's Encrypt from helper tools. So it is asking me for domain list. I am giving my domain which I purchased from GoDaddy. It is asking me again for like www version to be included or not. I want to include it. I click on yes, enter. So now it is asking me whether to enable HTTP to HTTPS redirection or not. So using HTTPS helps us boost our rank in search engines like Google, Bing, etc. We will be enabling HTTP to HTTPS redirection. So I will be entering yes. So enable non-www to www redirection. So I want my website like www.gaurifashions.com instead of gaurifashions.com. So I'll keep on yes. So you want enable www to non-www redirection. I don't want, because I want to keep like www.gaurifashions.com. So I will say as no. Anything is fine, smaller caps. So it is finally showing me the changes that will be performed. The following changes will be performed to your Bitnami installation. Stop the web server, configure web server, next configure. So all these things will be done. So I will agree to these changes. Yes. Now the helper tool is performing all the changes that are required. So it is asking me again for email address. So let me give my email address quickly. Do you agree to the Let's Encrypt subscriber agreement? Yes. Now Bitnami HTTPS configuration tool is being run in the background. So it can take some time. So now after 2 minutes we are able to see success, and we can see it is showing the backup files also. Now I'll click on enter, plus an enter key to return to the menu. So again I'll click on enter. So now let's go back and let's see our website. So now we can see beautiful log button to the left side of our website. So now our connection is secure. It is using Let's Encrypt to encrypt our website gaurifashions.com. So we can see HTTPS. Previously it used to be HTTP. So let's remove HTTP and let's see. So it should automatically be redirecting me to HTTPS instead of HTTP. So that's it for the encryption of our website. Now coming to the next topic. So third topic we want to cover is we'll be connecting to our Lightsail instance using FileZilla. So what is the advantage of using FTP? So FTP is like a graphical interface where we can see all the folder structure of any web server, so that we can download any file from it, or we can upload files directly by dragging and dropping into it. And let's see how we can do it. So let's quickly open FileZilla. Here it is open for me. So now what we have to do is we require our SSH key to be known by FileZilla. FileZilla by default will not accept .ssh format, so it will automatically change it to its required format. So let's see how we can do that. So let's go to edit and settings and click on SFTP. Here we'll be having an option to add key file. So let's click on it. So here what we'll be giving is our private id_rsa file. So FileZilla will show a dialog to convert the file to its required format. So it will be .ppk format. Let's click on convert yes. And now it is asking for my SSH password. Let me quickly enter. So now it is asking me to save it as some name. So I will be giving same name. So anyway it will append .ppk. So it will be differentiated from original files. So let's click on save and let's click on OK. So next we will be clicking on this icon, that is site manager. So here we'll be adding new site. So here we'll be giving our IP address. So let's quickly copy our IP address. So let's go back, let's paste. So let's quickly change this one to SFTP, and log on is with key file, and user will be Bitnami, and key file will be browsing to that respective folder. So here the ppk file is generated. So we'll point to this file and click on open. And now we'll rename the identifier to Gauri Fashions. That is my website name, and append it with Lightsail so that we can easily identify when we come later. So this is my website connection. Let's click on connect. Let's check whether it will be connected or not. At the first time it will show this dialog and we'll be clicking on OK. So it is asking me for the password for the first time. Let me give my password, click on OK. So as we can see, the listing of directory is successful. So now we entered into our web server. Let's open our htdocs. So let's open our apps, WordPress, htdocs, opt/bitnami/apps WordPress htdocs. This is where all our WordPress files exists. So we can see WP admin folder, WP content folder, WP includes, and WP config. We can directly right click on it and we can click on view or edit so that it will be downloaded and it can be viewed by any of our file viewer. So let's see. So whenever we are downloading something, we can see it here. We can download. So it will be added to here. Successful transfers. So we can see it is successfully transferred to my folder location like documents, or where we can go there and we can confirm. Here is our wp-config.php. We can open, we can add some comment using any text editor like Atom or Sublime Text or even Notepad. So test. So I modified this file. Again, let's close this file and let's re-upload it. So let's drag and drop. So it is asking me that the target file already exists in that folder. Shall I override or not? So let's click on OK. So simply it will be overriding. So this one also you can see here. So here you can see the direction. So first two files are like I downloaded them, and second file is like from documents to our server. So it is the direction towards right side. So we are uploading that file. So that's it guys. In this way you can upload any files or folders to our web server using FileZilla. So let's move on to our next topic. That is, we'll be creating a snapshot using Lightsail console and we will deploy that snapshot. So let's quickly open our Lightsail console and let's click on snapshots. You can read the description here. A snapshot is a backup of a Lightsail instance. You can create them from the snapshots tab in an instance management page. So learn more about snapshots. So let's click on instances and let's click on our instance and let's go to snapshots tab, and here we can see create snapshot button. Let's click on it and let's click on create. So we have to note like snapshots are not free. So there will be price depending upon the size of the snapshot. As we can see, there is a provision of automatic snapshots here where our Lightsail itself creates a snapshot automatically for us every day as a backup, and it will be storing the most recent 7 snapshots. That is, we can go back till 7 days. So we can enable this option based upon our requirement. For now, I'm not enabling it. Here is our snapshot which is created. So we can click on these 3 dots and we can click on create new instance, or we can copy even to another region. Let's click on create new instance. Now again it will take me to that snapshot instance page where we can create our snapshot and we can select our plan and we can even add key values and key value tags. In which scenario it will be useful? So snapshot will be useful whenever we want to move our server to a new plan. Suppose at the beginning I started with $3.5 plan. Later my traffic is increased. So later I want to move like to a bigger server. So I can click on the $10 now and I can click on create instance, so that all the data which is there in my previous snapshot will come to this snapshot. So this is where we can use the snapshot. And in the second case, if somebody hacks our website and we want to restore our website, we know that we have the snapshot as backup. So we can restore to that particular point using our snapshot by creating another instance. So let's quickly create another instance which is of 3.5 USD for now, and let's rename it as snapshot itself. So I am clicking on create instance. So now we can see 18.206.94.186 is appended to it. So the benefit of this floating IP is, so this floating IP is assigned to us. We can detach this IP address to this particular old instance and we can reattach this to the new instance. So this way we can attach the static IP to this one and our server IP address will not change. So we can simply reattach this particular IP to this one and we can simply delete this particular instance. So this is the use case of instances. First, we can use it as a backup, and second, we can use it to switch to a different higher end servers. So in my previous video, many users asked me like how to backup entire file structure and large files. So I thought that this video will be a right place to discuss about it. So we'll be seeing how we can backup and restore our files using Updraft Plus. So let's quickly go to our website and we'll go to admin page. Username is user itself. Password is the one which is present in particular Bitnami application password file. So now we are able to log in and let's see if we can find that plugin. So let's search for Updraft Plus. So as we can see, this is our first plugin which comes in our search. So Updraft Plus has 3 million active installations with 3,703 positive ratings. So it's a good efficient way for backing up our files. As you can see, we can back up to Dropbox, S3 server, Google Drive, Rackspace, and lot of other options are given. So let's click on activate. So it should take me here. Let's click on press here to start. Otherwise, you can go from settings and Updraft Plus backups also. So let's see here. So we can create, now we'll be creating our first backup. So let's click on backup now. So it is asking whether to include our database in the backup, whether to include our files in the backup or not. So let's backup everything. Let's click on backup. So here it is creating a backup. So if you want, you can go to settings. So here the backup has been finished and I got the backup file here. So I can click on this restore button here. Let's click on restore. View. So everything is finished. So restoration process is done. So let's go back to our admin dashboard again. So let's click on Updraft Plus backups. So here we are now. So now what we can do is we can click on settings and we can change to any other default backup drive. What's happening basically is it is storing our backup in our web server itself. Suppose there might be some hacker who got some access to our web server and we might not be able to access our web server itself. So then in that scenario, we cannot directly access this backup file. So in this scenario, we can depend upon these different type of options which were given. So we can directly back up our files to Google Drive using this, or we can directly back up our files to Dropbox. So let's click on Google Drive and click on Save Changes. So now if I click on backup now, let's click on backup now again. So as we can see, it is uploading files to remote storage. So it is backing up my files to Google Drive. So here we can see the percentage which is being uploaded to Google Drive. So here if we reload this web page, we can see that our backup is ready and here is the icon of Google Drive. So we can see that it is stored inside Google Drive and we can click restore as usual. So in this way, we are able to back up our larger files and we are able to restore it easily. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did while making this video. If you like this video, please click on like button and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to improve your coding knowledge and design next level applications, please subscribe to this channel. So see you in the next video guys. Take care.